Welcome to the Georgia-Florida Baseball Show, brought to you by Georgia Showcase Baseball and its owner, Coach Ben House. Ben, how we doing?
I'm doing good, Kevin. How are you?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. I'm Kevin. I'm your host, and today's guest is Willie Slaton the fourth,
Yes, sir.
the co-founder and CEO of the South DeKalb Tribe. And Ben, why do we have Willie here today?
Well, Willie's a big staple in the community with South DeKalb Tribe. I think they're probably the first Black organization on the South Side that I've heard of. And I've emulated or tried to emulate some of the things that he's done on the South Side with the younger kids when he had the younger kids in his program. And I'm not sure if he still has the younger kids in his program or not, but I've tried to emulate some of the things that he's done when he had the younger kids. And now that he has the older kids involved in getting those kids in school, taking them on tours, getting them in these big events so they're able to get seen and exposed. It just gives me great joy to see the things that he's doing on the South Side of Atlanta. I know we kind of combined a little bit last year, collaborated with each other, and we helped each other with putting teams together. As far as the older kids, I think it was maybe the 15s or I think maybe the 15s last year that we kind of combined a little bit, and he's just taking off with things, man, on the South Side with those older kids. And getting kids exposed and getting them in front of colleges, getting them in front of pro scouts. And he has so many kids that are committed and also probably going to be getting drafted in the upcoming draft. So it's just important that he gets on this show and kind of tell everyone what he's doing, how he's doing it, and continued success to you, Willie.
No, thank you, Ben. I appreciate that. Definitely do.
All right, so we're going to talk about Willie's path to creating a powerful organization that is helping kids get into college and get some of their college paid for and getting their degrees and helping kids become great young men. And we're going to talk about that with you, Willie. Do you mind that after the break?
Absolutely not. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
This is the Georgia-Florida Baseball Show, brought to you by Coach Ben House, with Kevin Perkins from Surrounded by Sports.
And we're back. Thank you to Arden's Garden, your source for juices, smoothies, and plant-based foods, for helping us put this show on. Thank you to Ben's Showcase Apparel for helping us put this show on. And Willie, tell me how you got into baseball to start with, and a little bit about your high school and all that.
Yeah, so I got started playing baseball at an early age. It was the first sport that I played. Started when I was 3 years old. My older brother, just 4 years older than me, signed up at a park and went to tryouts, and I ran on the field right behind him and started making plays, hitting the ball. I knew where to go. I knew the rules of the game already. So they signed me up as well. And the rest is kind of history, man. I fell in love with the game. I was coached by my dad from the time I was 3 to 12 and got into travel ball around 13 and, took that path on to college. Where I was able to play for some really good coaches along the way. Going back to my high school days, Coach Paris Bird over at MLK, as well as Coach Reggie Ingram, former UGA Bulldog, who is now the head coach at Shiloh High School. Were both my high school coaches. And then in the summer, I also played for Mark Mortimer and Jack Stewart of the Big Sticks Gamers program. A lot of kids I know in the community have played for or against the Gamers. I like to tell people we were the first team the Gamers ever had. We put the program on the map. Yeah, man, I just fell in love with baseball. I played football as a kid growing up as well. Was pretty good at both, but I just enjoyed baseball a little bit more, especially when I got to high school and the travel scene. So just stuck with it and began to really focus in and specialize and put in the training, and that earned me a Division I scholarship to play baseball at North Carolina A&T coming out of high school. So, I started at a very young age and never put it down. And here I am now, 35, still on the field every day.
Now, now you mentioned to me that there was that the college experience at both North Carolina A&T and Valdosta didn't go exactly like you wanted. But I want to say that the important part about that is you pivoted quickly and got 2 degrees in 3.5 years in college. Once you were, well, the way you put it was, I had been spending so much time on baseball. Suddenly, I had free time, but you
Right.
didn't use it like free time. You went after a second degree, and so when you get out of college, a lot of it was paid for. Some of it, wasn't. Then I'm going to assume you had some academic things in your favor,
Yes,
money
sir.
wise.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah.
So,
And so then, but you get out and you're ready to rock, right? Because you've got 2 degrees and then you go into the corporate world. Is that right?
yes, the story of my path that you're speaking of is really what drives me to do what I do now with my program. I want to be able to give that gift to the next generation of kids, as many kids that look like me and come from my community as I can. To your point, um, started my college career at North Carolina A&T as a freshman. I redshirted. Um, you know, didn't play. My coach told me he needed my money back. Uh, so I quickly pivoted and transferred back home to Valdosta State, where I still had the Hope Scholarship. Graduated high school with a 3.9 GPA. And then after my freshman year, I think I was sitting at about a 3.5. So I came back home, was still able to receive the Hope Scholarship. I earned a spot on the team at Valdosta State University, um, where I was only able to get 2 at-bats over the course of 2.5 years. Um, but, still had to do all the things required of being a part of the team, 6 a.m. weights, 3 days a week, study hall, practice for 5 hours, conditioning, all the community service, all the things that are required as being a part of a program, but didn't get any results in terms of opportunities or performance on the field. Um, and so once I got to my fall of my junior season, my coach brought me in and told me that I was no longer a part of the team. So ended my career right there, man. I had already transferred once. I was deep into my academic studies, and didn't want to lose any credits. And this was prior to the age of the transfer portal, so it required me to sit out another year had I transferred again. So I just decided to stay at Valdosta, and now not having to go to practice every day and lift weights and do all the things required of me as a baseball player. I did have a lot of time on my hands, and I started to volunteer with a group called SIFE, Students in Free Enterprise, where we spent time in the local housing projects in Valdosta, tutoring the kids and mentoring the kids, which was a great outlet for me. And then I also picked up another major. So starting as an accounting major, I was able to pick up a finance degree as well, finished in 4.5 years. And I was able to start my career immediately. That afforded me opportunities to start my program. Baseball is an expensive sport. It's very expensive to run an organization. I'm sure Coach Ben can attest that no team will ever receive every dollar from every player. So you have to find ways to supplement costs and take care of those expenses when you don't, receive the revenue from all of the parents. So leaning into our community networks, our friends and family that have small businesses or that like to contribute, is a way for us to keep it going. But yeah, man, you have to keep going. That's what baseball teaches you, is to deal with adversity, to make adjustments. When things don't go your way, you don't pout, you don't cry. You come up with another plan and move forward in that direction.
Right, right. And you did. Now you immediately go into the corporate world, but then you said you wanted to supplement your income. You had some weekend time, and so you started umpiring. Now, what about umpiring led you to start the tribe?
Yeah, so when I first started in corporate America, he wasn't making, a ton of money. So I would umpire on the weekend with one of my buddies' dad. He was a UIC for I think USSSA at the time. And we go out to these tournaments and umpire the games. And we're out there all day, and I'm seeing all these teams. Some I'm familiar with, some never heard of before. But some more of the national programs that have been around since I was in high school. I'm just listening to the coaches, take mound visits as they instruct the kids throughout the game, as they talk about uh, the game. There wasn't much mechanics or teaching going on. And I realized one day that I had a lot more knowledge than the average man in terms of this sport. And I thought it was important for me, or that I was obligated to share it with the next generation. If I can help a kid avoid, or not say avoid, but be better prepared for the next level, I think it's my duty to do that. With all the great coaching that I received throughout my childhood and my career, and then my intelligence of just learning and soaking up as much of the game as possible, passing that down to the next kid so that he can earn that scholarship, he can get those multiple degrees paid for. Using the academics as well as the athletics. My 2 degrees, I've never had $1 in student loans. So not only being able to start my career gives you a head start in life if you don't have to owe anyone back for your degree. So that's the gift we try to give to the kids that come through our program.
Right. Now, how does the tribe start?
So following school, my buddies who I umpired with, we would sit around and watch the Braves game every day. It was something we did in college. We were college roommates. So in the evenings, after work, after class, we sit and watch the Braves. Being from Atlanta, we're huge Braves fans. And during that time of us umpiring and sitting there watching the Braves, we're like, man, we should come up with our own program. Like, we can do this. So we sat around and we threw around a bunch of names, the Warriors, the Bulldogs. We thought about being the Atlanta Mets, the Atlanta Metropolitans. But we really wanted something that had meaning, that wasn't just, the run-of-the-mill name of an organization. And one day we came up with the tribe, just us helping each other. That's kind of why we started, helping the next generation. And then using our network, our village, or our tribe to make this thing possible. So we're finishing up our 9th season this year, which is unbelievable. Most organizations, especially minority organizations, don't last this long. So definitely grateful and thankful to have the village or the tribe to make this work.
Right. Now, Ben, this sounds kind of familiar, I'm sure, to you, the quest for getting quality baseball knowledge on the south side of Atlanta, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, just listening to Willie, I know him. So I wanted everyone to hear just how intelligent he is, not only on the field but off the field as well. Willie comes up with creative ideas for his organization to generate money to help him grow, to help him do the things that he needs to do. He has golf tournaments. He has different galas that he goes to just to network to be able to bring in revenue. And those are some of the things that, when I speak to Willie, that I kind of pick his brain on, just to try to figure out, how he generates revenue for his organization, because I know how tough it is being on the south side of Atlanta, having to deal with budgets and budget payments and waiting on people to pay, because sometimes, a lot of times, in our situations, we're the last ones to get paid. People, they're going to pay their mortgage, they're going to pay their car notes, they're going to pay whatever they need to do first before, they get to us as far as paying for baseball. So I understand what he's talking about, but everyone needs to hear his story and just how he does things. So I applaud you, man, because some of the things that you're doing is great. It's great for the community, and so I soak it up and I try to figure things out on my own. And one thing about Willie is he surrounds himself with people that are just as smart or smarter than him. So he always has knowledgeable coaches. He always has knowledgeable people around him that kind of guide him, and that tribe theme, it fits him because that's who he is. His organization is a tribe because they support each other 100%, man. And I tip my hat to you, man, for the things that you've done in the community and for these kids.
Thank you, Coach. I appreciate that, man.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Coach Ben, he hit on a lot of points here. It is tough, especially being on the South Side in terms of funding. It shows those demographic numbers all across the board, whether we're talking housing, schooling, and youth programming is no different. So it is a challenge for us on many levels beyond just developing talent that can go out and compete and earn their way onto college rosters, but also being able to fund it. When you do additional items or events that we like to produce for our players, like Coach Ben spoke on our college tour every year, we put our high school students on a charter bus and take them to 3 universities in one weekend, where they not only get an opportunity to see the colleges, take a tour of the schools, but also get a firsthand workout in front of the head coaches at each school. So we just finished our 4th annual college tour about 2 weeks ago. So some of the kids in our program have been to 12 different universities in 4 years, where they've all got an opportunity to work out in front of those head coaches in an intimate setting. So when we talk about really putting kids into college, we're not just blowing smoke there. We're not just even just having aspirations without helping parents kind of connect those dots. I tell our players at this point, with the circle of network that we've established through our college tours, through our work throughout the community, the tribe that we've grown and expanded into, all you have to do is perform. If you put in the preparation, the practice, and you go out and perform, we can get you to the highest levels of this game, all the way to the MLB draft. We've had several players in our organization that have come through over the years that have gone on to the MLB draft, some even in the first round. And we've got some that are going this year in July. So things are working. Again, it's a blessing to be able to have our vision come to fruition. It's very difficult. There are many men who have tried this road and not been able to accomplish what we've done. We don't take that lightly. And then Coach Ben will tell you, I've got a 2-year-old son and one on the way, so I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. So we're in this.
I didn't know about the one on the way.
Yes, sir. Coming in August, another boy.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. So we're in it for the long haul, man. I've got 2 sons to raise that I hope that'll be, have the love of baseball running through their blood as well. And we're going to keep going. And along the way, we're going to put as many kids in the school as we can.
Right. And by doing the college tour, what you're meeting these assistant coaches and these players are getting one-on-one discussions about what they need to do to be better and to be able to get these scholarships. But also, not everybody, they're getting workouts too, of course, but not everybody stays at the college they work out. So your web of people throughout the colleges is growing and growing as you're going to 3 new schools every summer, right?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And it didn't initially set out to be the goal of, for our college tour. It was mainly to expose our kids to colleges, to college baseball, to motivate them to earn their way there, to understand how difficult it is. But over the years, it has grown and evolved into a web of connections where we know just about every head coach personally, especially in HBCU baseball, but many coaches throughout the Southeast. and coaches hear about what we're doing and they're excited about it. One thing that they always praise us on is, we're helping them out in a major way. This year we took 37 kids on our college tour. So we're bringing 37 college prospects to their front door. They don't have to pay for any travel, any lodging, any food, and these kids are coming right to them. And we always walk away with scholarships. Our kids are getting to school because of the tours. They're making connections with schools, even if they aren't of the recruiting class age. We take freshmen and sophomores as well, so they get to build relationships. So once August 1st of their junior year comes, these kids have already, built relationships with several collegiate coaches. And as you know, the coaching landscape is actually very small. It's a small community. I talk to a lot of coaches in college. They're telling me like, yeah, I talk to this school, this school, this school every day. These are my friends. We're recruiting all of the same players, so we know a lot of the same guys. So we just try to, continue to create opportunities for our kids, man. That's what it's about. We have to prepare them. It's not all about exposure because there's a very thin line between exposure and being exposed. You have to be prepared and trained and developed properly before you get in front of these coaches, because first impression is everything. So, yeah, you can improve and grow and change over the years, but if you showed him something day one that he really doesn't like, it's going to be hard to change his mind. So,
Right.
We make sure that not only we do the exposure, but we practice a lot. Leading up to our travel schedule, we have about 15 practices between the end of high school season and the start of the travel season, which is only about a 2.5 week window. But making sure that we are taking part in our kids' development, that we are teaching them our brand of baseball, that we're teaching them how to have the proper approach, how to hit with two strikes, how to pound the zone, how to pitch with sequence, how to run the bases properly, all the little details that will not only make us successful as a team on the travel circuit, but also are the things that these college coaches are going to expect them to know when they show up on day one.
Right.
Even more so in the day of the transfer portal, where high school kids are at an extreme disadvantage. As a college coach, my job is on the line every year, and I need to win, and I have to go with kids that can help me win. And you're in a better position from a kid that has already garnered high college at bats, has been in a college program, been in a college weight room for several years, versus a kid that's just coming out of high school. So we try to take pride in making sure our kids are ready to go, even if they can't be day one starters, but they can be contributors and an asset to their team from the first day they show up on campus.
Right. Right. Dude, we're going to take a break real quick, get a commercial, and then we'll come back and we're going to talk to you about you manage the Braves RBI program, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, we're going to talk about that real quick, and then we'll wrap the show, okay? After this.
Good, good deal.
Awesome. We're back again. We are back. Thank you again to Arden's Garden, your source for Atlanta source for. Actually, I just bought some here in Pensacola too. Yesterday, I got some juice, Arden's Garden. But anyway, so it's a product I do use. Source for smoothies, juices, plant-based foods, and of course, Showcase Apparel for helping us do this stuff. Appreciate you, Ben, for starting this thing and letting this thing keep going. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Now,
Thank you.
Willie, what is the Braves RBI program? You manage it?
Yes, sir. So by way of Marquise Grissom and the Marquise Grissom Baseball Association, I have joined forces with them to manage the Braves RBI program. So we've been doing this for the last 3 years. This will be our fourth year coming up. Started in 2021, where Marquise Grissom asked me to be the head coach of the junior RBI Braves team. And by the grace of God, we were able to win the whole RBI World Series year one. So we've fortified our relationship over the last few years. We've gone back to the championship, World Series championship game, the last 3 years in a row. Came up short 2022 and 2023, but looking to turn that around this year in 2024. But it's a great opportunity, man. RBI stands for Restoring Baseball in Inner Cities. It's Major League Baseball's #1 program for minority baseball players, baseball and softball players across the country, across the world, actually. And I have the privilege of being one of the leaders for Atlanta and the Atlanta Braves. And being a Braves fan my entire life, I told you that's kind of how we started even the tribe. It's a special position for me, a unique opportunity where I get to pull kids from all over the city. Not only kids that are a part of the tribe, but talented baseball players across Metro Atlanta and Braves community that come out and take part in the program. And we go out and compete every year at the regional level, where we'll play against the Tampa Bay Rays, the Miami Marlins. There's a new program out of Jacksonville called Walk Off Charities that's ran by Jared Simmons, who's actually a former Braves employee. But they're doing really well. There's a team in Montgomery. There's a team in Chattanooga. So we'll go to the regional tournament every year. We'll compete against those teams, and then the winner gets a qualification to the World Series, which is in Vero Beach, Florida, at the Jackie Robinson Training Complex, where we'll play against the regional winners from around the world. So again, the last 3 years, we've won the regional tournament and made it to the World Series, made it to the World Series championship game, playing against some of the best talent from across the world, all hosted by MLB. The kids get treated like pros. We wear the real Braves jerseys. And we've been on MajorLeagueBaseball.com, MLB Network, on some live games in the past. So it's a really cool experience. But again, it's, I look at it as another opportunity to garner exposure for my players. That's one of the highest stages. I mean, everybody wants to go to the MLB. That's the ultimate goal. And this is the youth opportunities that are available. And we have a really strong hand in that. So that's another part of our tribe that helps us fulfill our mission.
Right, right. As we wrap this thing up, Ben, people give lip service all the time. And we talk about, and here we have a guy, he's not only teaching people to be the best version of themselves as a single player, but teaching them how to work in a unit. And he learned that playing baseball, but he also learned that in the corporate world. But when we have a guy like this that faced adversity through baseball, kind of not working out, but he takes that and turns it into something else. And then at every step, he evaluates and makes things better, evaluates and makes things better, which is what you do when a guy gets you out, which is what you do when you're in the wrong place when a ball is hit. What do you think about this young man we're talking to right here?
Well, adversity is the key word, man. He dealt with that early in college, and now he's bringing it to his program and to his organization, until everybody that's in his circle, which is the tribe. And he does everything with a purpose. If you watch some of his Instagram stuff that he posts, I've seen him, practice live. Some of the things that he does while he's training, everything has a purpose behind it. He just doesn't go on the field on Saturdays and Sundays and play tournaments without a purpose. So his purpose starts Monday through Friday, preparation through training, through practices. He's just real big on training and practices and getting these kids prepared for what's coming next, whether it's college, whether it's professional, or whether it's just for life. And he prepares these kids for that, and the results speak for themselves as you hear him talking about, just going on the college tour and connecting with a lot of these coaches. I mean, it's just he's just not connecting with these college coaches just to be talking. He's doing it for a purpose. and it's to get these kids better. And the kids that he has now, and the kids that are coming up later throughout his organization, and the kids that are out there that's going to be coming to his organization. That's what he's preparing for. I salute him, man, and just give him all props, man, because he's doing a great job with these kids. He's doing a great job in the community, and he's doing a great job just with everybody that's in his circle. And I look up to him for that, man. And me and Willie, we have a good relationship. I just thank him for allowing him. I thank him for coming onto this show and allowing everyone to hear what he has going on, the special things that he's doing for the community.
Willie, how can people get in touch with you if they want to maybe help with the funding or maybe see if their kid can play with you?
Absolutely. We have a website. You can visit www.sd, S for South, D for DeKalb, tribe, tribe.com. We also have Instagram, which is at SD Tribe. That's one of our larger social media platforms. We're on Twitter at Tribe South. And then Facebook at South DeKalb Tribe. You can Google us. We're out there. You can find us. But Instagram will give you a great depiction of what we're about, what we do on a daily basis. But if you want to get in contact with us, if you'd like to donate to us, definitely visit our website. Again, www.sdtribe.com.
Nice. Hey, and when you go on that Instagram, hit that like button, man, and make a comment.
Yes, sir.
Hit that like
sir.
button. We know you're looking. Just hit that like button and make a comment.
Right.
There you go.
Especially us, man. Do that. We're working hard out here, man, to make sure that these kids are getting what they need, man.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. And if you watch this video, subscribe, comment, like. Ben, how do people get in touch with you? He froze up on me. Real quickly, just what is the mission statement?
The mission statement, the mission of the South DeKalb Tribe is to create future productive citizens through a unique approach at youth sports.
100%. Thank you so much for telling us that. Thank you for being on the show. We appreciate everything you do, Willie. And folks, thank you for watching. Again, like, comment, subscribe. And Coach Ben House, underneath me, is how you get in touch with Coach Ben House to order a shirt from Showcase Apparel, get involved with this program, or get involved with some funding. Thank you very much. Appreciate you, Willie.
Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Ben. I appreciate you guys.
Awesome.